Namaste, good day to all my students. In this lecture, I will explain codes Internet of Things Technology Module 3. You already know that we're having two textbooks. Textbooks number 1, David Haynes, this is a textbook, and textbook number 2, Internet of Things by Srinivasa. In the third module, we took the contents from David Haynes. Okay. What is the name of the third module? Third module is concerned with IP as the Internet of Things network layer. Before going to this particular module, what we was studied in the previous module? In the first module, we studied about the introduction of Internet of Things. In the second module, we studied about some of the important protocol which can be used for Internet of Things. And now we will come to the module 3, IP. Already you know, IP is Internet Protocol, which is a very important protocol which is there in the network layer. In this module, there are two chapters which is there in the textbook, David Haynes. In the first chapter, we having 4 topics, first one, second one, third one, and fourth one. In the first topic, the business case for IP. Second topic is the need for optimization. And the third topic is optimizing IP for Internet of Things. And the fourth topic is profiles and compliances. Before going to the depth of these particular topics, first I will give the introduction of each topic so that you will get a clear idea about what each topic is saying. Then we will go to the depth of each topic. The first topic here is business case for IP. Before going to the depth or before going to this particular topic, first of all, you should know that why IP they made as a chapter. IP is Internet Protocol. Already I told, which is one of the very important protocol which is there in the network layer. This IP will helps to move the packet from source to destination. In the other terms, if I am saying, it is a very important protocol which is helping to move the data from one computer to other computer, mainly in the internet environment. Now the question here is, this IP can be used for the Internet of Technologies. Why? Because this IP we developed 13 years back, some 3 decades back. 1 decade means 10 years, 3 decades means 30 years. The 30 years back, more than 30 years, but in the textbook it is explaining as 30 years. In the 30 years back, we made IP. Now that same IP can be used for Internet of Things technology or not? That is a question here. Already you know that Internet of Things we are using most of the time constrained nodes. What is constrained nodes? Constrained nodes we studied clearly in the second module. Constrained nodes is nothing but the nodes having low battery power, low processing speed, as well as low storage. That is called as constrained nodes. But the current internet, we are not using most of the time constrained nodes. We are using laptop. We can directly power it, or the battery what we are going to use in the laptop is high power battery. Or if you are using in the desktop system, it is also having good processing speed, good memory, and directly we can connect the power. We cannot able to compare with constrained nodes with the current scenario what we are going to use or what we are using now. That is why, and what is the property of this IP? IP is very bulk. Bulk, what is the meaning? It is large protocol. It having lot of lines. Can we imagine that entire IP lines can be executed in a small device? It's impossible. Small device like a sensor. It is impossible. We have to optimize or we have to be combat, or we have to be enhance this current IP what we are going to use, or make it as a small one and have to be put it on that one. In the business case of IP, there are two important concepts it is explaining. One is adoption and another one is adaptation. These two concepts you should know the clear idea, because so many places in this particular module they are using these two concepts. I will explain clearly before going to the in-depth what is mean by adaptation. Adaptation is nothing but, already I told, this 30 years back we made this IP. This IP, first of all, we have to optimize it, because already it is developed. We have to make changes in this IP so that this particular IP can be worked with Internet of Things. Otherwise, this bulk IP, if you are going to put into the Internet of Things devices, maybe the device is going to be consume more battery power. Maybe it cannot be able to execute due to the bulky nature of Internet of Things, bulky nature of IP. That is why we have to do some small changes so that, or optimize it so that it can work with Internet of Things technology. That is nothing but adaptation. I hope you understood the clear picture of adaptation. Now we will go with adoption. What is mean by adoption? We do not want to think about what IP it is done 30 years back. We can adopt, or we can make a new IP and we can directly put into the Internet of Things. That is called it as adoption. I hope it is clear difference between adoption and adaptation. That is our first topic. Second topic is need for optimization. Already in the first topic itself, I use the term as optimization. Here, constrained nodes. Already I explained what is constrained nodes. Nowadays, most of the people are using IPv4, Internet Protocol version 4. Because Internet Protocol version 4 is better for our communication what we are going to use now. But if you are saying that is better or IPv6 is better, definitely I will say that IPv6 is better compared with IPv4 in the current scenario also, because security concern and number of IP addresses which can be given by IPv6 is very high, because it is 128 bits and IPv4 it is only 32 bits. Already you know that or everything. But IPv4 is supporting S for the current scenario. But in the Internet of Things, IPv6 is better. That is why we have to migrate. The term we have to use as migration, because we have to change from, because almost everywhere we are using IPv4, or we have to migrate from IPv4 to IPv6. That is required, right? That is a need for optimization. One of the optimization method we have to use is nothing other than we have to migrate from IPv4 to v6, because most of the time in the Internet of Things it is better to use IPv6. Now the third topic is optimizing IP for Internet of Things. You see there they are explaining three important protocols. The first protocol is 6LoWPAN. We already discussed this particular protocol in the third module. What is the full form of 6LoWPAN? 6 is showing, definitely it is IPv6 over low power wireless personal area network. It is a wireless technology to move the data for low power devices, right? I hope it's clear. Next is 6TISCH. The full form is time slotted channel hopping, right? And the last protocol we have to discuss in this particular topic is RPL. IPv6 routing protocol for LLN. What is LLN? Low power Lucy network. This IoT networks, we will call it as a low power Lucy network. Why? Low power means low battery power devices. It is Lucy. Lucy means the edge or connection between two IoT devices is unstable because easily can be hacked because it is unstable network. It can be connected, any device can be connected anytime, and it is having low processing power. Its security concerns are there we have. That is why it is called it as low power Lucy network. If you are observing these three protocols are working based upon IPv6. Now you can understand that what is the use of IPv6 in the case of IoT. It is, we have to use IPv6 because security, data sending, so many concerns. If you are thinking IPv6 is better. That is our third topic. The last topic, profiles and compliances. Because, for example, why these topics they added? It's very important topic here because I will explain with an example. Cisco company producing one router. They made their own standards. I took that particular router for developing my Internet of Things network. After that, what happened is 10 years that particular router is working perfectly. After 10 years, that router got some problem, one of the router. I replaced that router with IBM router. Just to think that IBM is using their own standard for developing that router. Then what problem I am going to face after 10 years is this Cisco router place I am going to keep one IBM router. In all other devices I am going to use as Cisco only one device or one router I change with IBM. Maybe I am not going to get the Cisco, that's why I am replaced with the IBM. What is going to happen is maybe that IBM router is not going to work with the Cisco routers because the standards what it is going to use for developing these devices are different. For that one, some standard organizations are required. That organization have to be given the standards to develop these devices. That one detailedly we are going to discuss in this profiles and compliances. I hope you understood the introduction about IP as the IoT network layer. And first chapter only I given the introduction. Second chapter introduction in the upcoming lecture I am going to give. Thank you very much to all my students.